actually recording. I don't need to look at that anymore. Hey. Hi. Hello. I haven't played this since the 18th. It is 6 days later. Yeah, it's been a week. Wow. Wow, time flies. I've been playing a lot of Stellaris. Wanting to make sure that the changes my mod makes are actually, like, fun for me, and given that I've put, like, a fucking week into it, it is. I haven't felt like the need, or God, this is pretty. I forgot how pretty this is. I haven't felt the urge to, or the need to, like, get on and complain about stuff. Process shit. Like, I've been vibing. I've just been straight up vibing as of late. I'm doing okay. Am I doing well? You know, maybe I would say I'm doing well. I'm doing all right. Doing all right. Oh, I forgot there's the trader upstairs. I'm like, I have a villager? I'll remember that. I really don't have much going on, though, is the thing. But unlike the past when I was saying I don't have much going on, like, I don't have bad shit going on, either. Like, I'm just doing pretty okay. God, I hate this. ACAB, baby. Vibing is illegal. Bitching is mandatory. You know how this game works? Well, there is stuff that sucks, right? Like, continued police violence in my city. But I'll be honest with you. I'm definitely living it up. Not living it up a little bit with my values right now, because I have reached a point of relative comfort and stability, and I'm reveling so much in that it is, I wouldn't say it's de-radicalizing me, but it is making me feel less desperate, which is, you know, kind of the point. But also, like, things aren't dramatically changing for the worse, either. Like, there's a lot of status quo and, like, things just, like, kind of staying bad. It's not much to get fired up over. I'm also not, over the last few weeks, I've been spending a lot of time to myself. Like, this last week particularly, I haven't been hanging out or talking with anyone. And I'm doing great. I've talked about before how I didn't take on a lot of the emotional, not labor, but baggage of relationships, and have to be the emotionally well-adjusted one in certain groups. And, you know, I'm not gonna lie to you and say that it's been bad or in any way uncomfortable, just not having to take on that responsibility or feel like I need to. I'm pretty not lonely right now. Like, I'm enjoying my time alone. Just, you know, it's kind of all right. It's not bad. Now, don't get me wrong, I definitely am still capable of feeling lonely. Like, there are times, certainly, where I miss certain people, or certain relationships, or certain dynamics. Oh, abso-fucking-lutely. lately I've just been pretty alright being on my own. Like, pretty comfortable, honestly. I've been spending energy and time thinking about how to work on different parts of myself, mostly like physically. And that's felt great to actually have this small amount of disposable income required to do that, rather than just be like, well, I know there's stuff I need to work on, but I can't afford to. You're the voice of reason that appears a couple times a week to spank someone, share memes, and bitch about stuff only to slink back into the shadows. Yeah, that's relatable. Yeah. Being the most leftist or radical person in a group and feeling like I'm constantly the one educating people, constantly the one correcting people or catching people, or constantly being the one disappointed by people's willful ignorance, or etc., etc. It's just like, you know, I feel like these people don't really want to care. Like, this isn't something they prioritize, so like, why am I doing it for them? I've been regretting a little that it's so difficult to go out and meet people or organize in person. Because spring is finally starting to hit here in Seattle. And like, it's a really pretty time of year. So I've been getting a little wanderlusty, getting a little like, man, I'd love to be out with the people. Topic of choice for bitching today was BDSM tests and how much 99% of them suck despite them being constantly stealing from each other. Like, personality tests? Is, like, all personality tests are garbage in my opinion. Or... I don't know, my aversion to personality tests takes like some small foundation in like some rational place, but it's mostly like an irrational, emotional pushback response that I don't want to be categorized, and I don't want to be told that I'm a certain way. I am rather contrarian as a person. And I'm about it. And when I was younger, I felt bad for being so critical, being so intense as a person, being so, me, I guess. And I'm definitely not that way anymore. Like, bitch, I like me, I like the ways that I am, the ways that I feel, the ways I think, and if it's not good for other people to be around, so long as I'm not being, like, actively toxic, that's fine. Yeah, the BDSM ones are bad in particular. That doesn't surprise me. That really doesn't surprise me. Good personality tests are fun. Yeah, you're right. You are absolutely right. I can't say that I have ever taken a BDSM personality test. I think that regardless of whatever result it gave me, I'd be like, nah. Particularly for me, I don't enjoy personality tests that much because when I'm taking them, it feels like I'm trying to figure out what they thought. Like, I always start thinking about it in a very meta way, like, okay, somebody programmed this. What were they thinking that this result was, or this answer would, like, what would this add a point to, or feed into. Oh. But I guess I'm just kind of that socially aware in general in conversations, like, hello? There... Oh! Okay. I'm like, how is that lava not burning this tree? I don't understand. Where's my way out? There. Yeah. Yeah, I really don't have much to go on. Like, I've been really just enjoying my time spent alone. I got some new... Like, seriously, I have the least exciting shit to talk about. I got some new conditioner I'm really enjoying. And I like how my hair feels. Like, right, today it's a little all over the place, but, like, it feels good. Like, that's pretty sweet. I also got, like, a new exfoliating brush that, like... It's pretty good. Pretty good. My last one, just hurt. I have sensitive skin, apparently. And, you know, we've talked about this before. I'm down for a little bit of pain every once in a while. That can be fun. But when I'm just trying to make skin smooth and clean, I prefer for that to not be an experience that makes me go, ow, 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 ow. When you get the please attempt to use the hard agree and hard disagree options as much as possible for best results, you know the motherfucker couldn't be asked to code any nuance. Yeah. God, I hate those. I hate the strongly agree, strongly disagree kind of questions. Like, I don't know. They're so absolutist, a lot of personality tests. Like, I'm of the position that almost everything in life is conditional and situational, and under certain circumstances, a rational person's positions should change on things. Even, like, pretty clear-cut monolithic issues. I gotta say, this vibe channel, this chill channel, it delivers. It really does. You know, we've had to curate a couple of songs out here, but this good shit. Alex took the soft boy thing too literally and replaced their skin with glass. Oh god. I have tough skin. I do. So here's a weird thing I've been thinking about. I've been reflecting on the kind of intimacy associated with infecting another person with a disease or condition that you have. Specifically, like, through an intimate means, like kissing, or having sex, or just physically being close together. I've been thinking about that like weird intimacy and weird like permanence we can have on one another. Is racism bad? Yes. Is you know, is it against the English? You know, you might have a point, right? Like, yeah, conditionally things make sense. Like, I first started thinking about this sort of thing when, I think as a teenager, I became aware of cold sores being a thing. And now, like, the vast majority of people, or at least Americans, get cold sores or have cold sores. It's actually very uncommon for someone to not. But cold sores are a type of herpes. And that isn't really... I'm sorry, did I just hear an arrow? Oh, you just murked a pigman over there. Okay, yeah, rip. But that's not really clearly communicated, and I'm out of focus. Clearly communicated to the youths. By the youths, I mean, I grew up in Indiana, a rather conservative part of a rather conservative nation. So, our education on the matter was lacking, to put it politely. And there's... yeah, I don't know, there's just something kind of... not romantic, right? Not romantic, not appealing in any way, but something like... raw, very raw about... infecting one another. It's not appealing. Okay, I want to really emphasize that. But I've been more resonating with the kind of vulnerable, emotional space and feeling of it. If you kiss before marriage, you're gonna get face herpes. If you hold hands before marriage, you're gonna... something. You're gonna go to hell, I guess, is where it goes. The reason that it came to mind was I have a skin condition that I didn't have years and years ago. Now I think it's a skin condition, now that I've looked into it. It's a skin condition I have because I'm getting old. It's because I'm aging and I don't have ye old baby skin anymore. It's just eczema. It's just like some dried skin that I'm like, I didn't used to have this. Should I be concerned about this? No, not really. You should. Actually, I probably have it because I take too many baths. So, the solution is moisturize less, not more, which is quite funny. But my last partner had a very similar skin condition, if not the same one. And when I first became aware of, or started noticing this change, I thought, did I get this from them? And that kind of got me in that headspace of thinking about this weird permanence of touch, this weird permanence of intimacy that accompanies sexually transmitted infectious diseases particularly, but more broadly, like any infectious disease, and just like the weird, harrowing sometimes reminders of past relationships and past interactions and past intimacies that don't seem permanent. They seem temporary and temporal and fleeting, and often that's part of the appeal. But having these very physical manifestations of these past actions, you know, I guess a child could be another example of this, right? And it's just something really kind of, I don't know, something captivating about it that's had me thinking about it quite a bit. I don't have like any takeaway feelings. It's just something that's been on my mind quite a bit. Children are an STI. You know, you said it, not me. I'm just repeating what you said, and in doing so may or may not be tacitly agreeing. Imagine wanting children. I have like a kind of intellectual curiosity of like, oh, you know, what would a little me look like? That's kind of crazy. But that's as far as it ever goes. Right, like, haha, wow. I definitely do not desire to bring life into this hell world. Wait, Jesus. No, I don't like being alive sometimes. Why on earth would I subject some other intelligence to this existence? Tell your students that you love them unconditionally, on the condition that you only see them 8 hours a week. Yeah, there's a lot of stigma, particularly in the United States, around sexually transmitted diseases. Like, more so than many other types of disease or infection. And it's really, really unfortunate. I mean, this is a multi-tiered issue, and, you know, I don't feel like I'm shining any light on it by being like, hey, it's kind of problematic how this is seen as especially heinous or problematic. Yeah, moralistic cultures. Cursed. Highly cursed. Condoms are good. Condoms are necessary. I would not. I won't go so far as to call them good. Because in the United States, condoms are... Wouldn't it just be better if there were effective birth control that were more permanent? Or if reproductive bodies weren't so regulated by moral pearl-clutching bullshit in the United States that people could just, like, choose if they wanted to have a child or not, rather than the state deciding that it gets to say what people do with their bodies. I don't know. I want a... I guess I can afford a vasectomy now, actually. I mean, I don't have a source of income, so afford is really an interesting word to use here, and it's not like I'm having sex or planning on having sex with anyone new anytime soon, or anyone anytime soon, if I'm being honest, because, you know, still got that pandemic thing going on. So it's not really like it would be of any use, but it sure would be nice. But where I was initially going with this was, vasectomies are not cheap, in the US particularly. And they're not like tens of thousands of dollars, but they are thousands of dollars. Which is, you know, that's... When the average American household can't save up more than 1 month's expenses and live from paycheck to paycheck, that makes birth control only accessible, really, for the wealthy, which makes it wildly ineffective. How many other contraceptive methods protect you from both STIs and BABI? You know, that's a good point. That's a good point. I don't like condoms broadly because they produce so much waste. See, I, a penis haver, am talking about me no like condoms because environment, not because PP no feel good. No, it feels fine. I mean, it feels, you know, different, but it feels fine. Would I prefer to not have it on? Generally, yes. But, like, if someone is only comfortable, myself included, having sex with someone with that kind of protective barrier, then, like, it's not a big deal. It's really not a big deal. And, like, there are definitely people in the past that, in retrospect, I'm like, well, you know, I really didn't know them or trust them, and wish that I had been more careful. Not because there were any consequences, but just because there was the possibility of consequences. And generally, a better idea is just if you don't have trust in someone, if you don't trust someone, maybe don't fuck them. Maybe don't have sex with them. The education system I had in high school, my public education, was, for the area, progressive in that it talked about sex and all, but for the most part it was abstinence only. It was just like, it was talking about like, yeah, you can use all these protective methods, but you know the best way? Just not having sex. And here we're gonna just talk a lot about how sex is actually like gross and scary and you shouldn't do it. That was my sex ed, essentially. And that was still miles better than what most Americans get, which is just insanely fucked up. Insanely fucked up. I laughed at this when I read it out of the corner of my eye, and now I'm just like, you know, didn't wake up today thinking I was gonna say these words. I'm a cream pie connoisseur, but I already got enough health conditions to fuck around and find out. It's just wanna resonate. Just for a moment sit with the phrase cream pie connoisseur. It's good. It's very, very good. Excuse you? I put down the mushroom? That means you need to fuck off and leave me alone? Is it the law? Yeah, I'm not even... For the last year or so, I've really been having the thought bouncing around in my head, like, do I even want to be in a relationship? No, not really. Like, do I miss a lot of parts of being in a relationship? Kinda. Some days. But, like, broadly, I don't. So it's hard to feel consistent on this though. Some days I'm just like sad and lonely and like want intimacy, and other days I'm just like, haha, fuck yeah, no accountability to anybody else. Don't have to live with anybody else. Don't have to share that kind of space and emotional investment. I don't know, it's weird. Gotta use this PhD for something. You miss the fucking, but the lack of emotional abuse is nice. Yeah, that's... I can relate to that. Like, last night I had a dream that I woke up in bed with someone that I used to be in a relationship with. It wasn't a sexual dream. Because, like, if it were, I probably wouldn't be talking about it. It was just, like, a cuddling dream. Of, like, an early, quiet, lazy Sunday morning. Just, what are you doing back here, buddy? You alright? I find your little hidey hole? Oh, that's a good hidey hole. You know what? There you go! I'm a monster. Yeah, it was just really nice. And then I woke up and I'm like, ah, yeah, that wasn't real. Also, that never really happened when we were seeing each other. And there's this romantic ideation going on of the past or relationships or, you know, intimacies that I had. And, God. A cask of Amontillatoing that pigman child was very satisfying. I don't know. It's weird to miss things that never happened. It's weird to long for things and dream of things that you know aren't real and were never real. Like, Brain, what the fuck are you doing? Who do you think you're fooling, Brain? Do I want that quartz? I mean, not right now. Maybe later. Yeah, just... What a guy 14,000 kilometers away calls you cute. Yeah. Okay, you know what? You know what? Thank you. What sent me on this kind of like, you know what? I'm actually being alone kind of train I've been on was I was talking with someone. I'm not going to be specific as to who. And they described wanting to, like, hug me. And, like, kiss me on my cheek. And, like, say sweet things to me. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want that. I don't want that at all in any way. Not because I don't want intimacy from this person. Just because, I don't want that kind of raw, emotional vulnerability with... I don't know. I don't want that kind of kissy romance with, I guess, that person. And more broadly, like, I'm really closed off to it in general right now. Like, I like it. Sometimes, but also, like, it's been very destructive for me in recent years, and even thinking about it again, it's just like, like, God, I could work my way there, but I'm not there right now. Was this someone a carbon-based organism? Yes. Yeah. There's someone I like quite a bit. But... I don't know. Yeah. Just being like, ooh, no, that's too much. That's too much. I got some weird, oh my god, what's the word I want? Boundaries right now? I have some very weird boundaries. You want to... pin me down, or call me names, or peg me, or wrestle, or be, like, really rough? Okay. You wanna kiss me sweetly and tell me that you love me? No! 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 I don't think so. No, thank you. And this isn't a carte blanche thing, right? But this is a specific to this interaction thing, and I'm like, alright. I don't like that I'm having this kind of reaction, so I'm just gonna not people for a little while. Pegging good, head pat's bad. I mean, yeah, I mean, generally, that's a thing I'd agree with. Like, I'm not a monster. I like cuddling, I like kissing, I like intimacy, I like being held by someone who matters a lot to me. But I'm also like incredibly emotionally raw when it comes to that kind of relationship and that kind of dynamic. And what I'm wanting, more so than really anything else right now, is just like affirmation that I am fun and attractive and like a good friend and a good fuck. I don't want affirmation that specific people have like very romantic feelings towards me, because I don't have that kind of capacity right now. I will eventually. I have before, I will again. I just not right now. No, thanks. Like, I just want to be horny and for you not to fall in love with me. That's where I'm at. Now the you here varies, because there are certain people who I'm like, hell yeah, I am down to bone down and fall into feelings with you, but they are the rare exception. Yeah, not a like unwelcome realization, just a like, well, this kind of sucks, because like getting the feeling that somebody might want some kind of romantic tete-a-tete and being very close off to that kind of romantic expression with them is, God, that's uncomfortable territory. Am I good on these? No, these are gonna go so fast, but I'm already by the entrance. Let's get out. You need cuddles after ravaging, for better or for worse. I'm typically exactly the same way. Just, you know, emotionally and romantically, I'm in a place where, is it foggy? Oh yeah, it's foggy. I'm in a place where I would need to take things slow. And having somebody just kind of wait a minute. I know this song. This is such a weird... Yeah, I know this refrain, but the name of the song is not what I thought it was. Oh, hell yeah. Love that low-flying helicopter. That's not at all disorienting. I need to take things a lot slower emotionally and romantically than I do physically or sexually right now, and that's a very weird place to be at. I'm not boasting a lot of sexual trauma right now. I'm boasting romantic trauma, I guess is how I describe it. Hell yeah. That is on YouTube. And I still don't know how to turn those fucking notifications off, but like... There you go, YouTube. You do get noticed. Ugh. If this is a backlog of notifications, I'm just gonna laugh. Yeah, I don't know. It's a little weird. Meanwhile, you're cougering so hard you got timed out from a chat you mod in. Get it. That is pretty rad. Well, I mean... Dude, the names. Some of these names are killing me. The whole getting kicked out because you're cougering too hard thing, you know, that stinks. but the energy I'm here for. Ugh. I can't bring myself to even be flirty with people I am not already in those kind of relationships with. That's a lie. I can be occasionally, like, lightheartedly flirty, but it's not real to me right now. Relationships are not real to me right now. The idea of having sex with someone who, anyone right now is just like, okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, okay, we're both gonna get COVID tested and then, like, go on a date, or just go to one of our places to hook up, and, like, it's, like, incredibly restricted how much stuff we could do in going out, not in going in. And going in, there's not a lot of restrictions on what we can do. I don't know, to me, I'm just, like, this entire... in scenarios just like decidedly unsexy, unfun, and it just sucks. And I can't even pretend that like it wouldn't just be awkward and shitty. Forgot that timeouts unmod and are 10 minutes by default. I'm very okay with people flirting with me on social media platforms. Like, Amy in particular does that. Pretty much anytime Amy shows up and when I'm streaming, Amy's just here to like low-key harass me with lighthearted flirting. 100% okay. Because we have a very established relationship. And like, there's a few people who I know, or have been around for long enough, that I'm okay with that. But if, like, random people were to jump in and start flirting at me, I'd just be like, haha, no. I do not get jumping into people's DMs or sliding into people's DMs is a means to hit on them. Like, flirting with people online is weird. Haha, hello person I can't see and has no idea who the fuck I am outside of a screen name and an avatar I picked for myself that may or may not even be of me. There's no way to verify I'm not a complete monster. How are you doing? Would you like to do a sex? I think you are a cool or attractive or whatever person. How does this interaction end positively? Like imagine sending a dick pic to someone unsolicited and expecting that interaction to go well. Like, what the fuck is wrong with people? By people, I mean men. Like, what in the absolute fuck is wrong with you? Hey, baby, I saw you have a cute anime girl pic profile picture, and I also am gonna enjoy cute anime girls. Want to commit appropriate? I don't get it. I really don't get it. I like flirting. Quite a bit, in fact. Flirting is a lot of fun, and prior to one of my last relationship, I never would think that an inability to flirt with me is kind of a deal breaker. But Cora was not a good flirt. And like, when we were dating, this might have changed. I don't want to speak for her now, but when we were dating, she's like, I don't really understand flirting. Like, it seems mean to me. And I'm like, what? Is it what? It seems mean to you. And that never really ended up making sense to me. Like, she's older than me, and feeling like I had to explain to her what, oh god, what I throw in here. Pants. I threw the pants in here. Oh, good job, Alex. Good job. Explaining flirting to someone older than me was just... Ah! Yeah, I'm not out here to shame people who want to flirt. I'm down to flirt. But I gotta at least, like, be vaguely familiar with you, right? For me, establishing a rapport, that's the word. I just made that word up. A rapport or, like, a dynamic, that's kind of necessary for me. In part because a lot of, like I talked about last time, a lot of what makes someone sexy to me is confidence. And a lot of what's I find sexy has to do with your relative position to one another socially, like how you get along and how you act in just as human beings. I'm really doing a poor job of explaining this, but it just, I can't immediately jump into like, oh hey, I like, no, there's no ooh-woo immediate kind of interaction. Like, there are people I will at first blush and first glance find incredibly sexually attractive, but I would not know how to interact with them if they just came out flirting immediately. It's like, I don't know you. I don't know if I actually find you a desirable sexual partner because I don't know you as a person. I can, like, at a snapshot see that bod and, like, maybe I can be attracted to your body, but a person is a lot more than just the physical their physical, you know, their mortal shell, right? Establishing a repertoire. Yeah, you know, repertoire isn't the word I wanted. You're right, that's the word I was going for, but that's very wrong. Wow. Yeah. So, okay, this is unrelated, but it's kind of related. I guess I'm a okay writer. I have been told I'm a good poet, I'm a good writer, or that I'm good with words. I guess I kind of just accept that under advisement and be like, you know, I've heard it enough times from enough people, there's probably something to it. I don't feel particularly good at it. Where I'm looping around to by bringing this up is I have a friend who posted, I don't know, some kind of creative writing. I guess you'd call it a poem, maybe. It was bad. It was bad. It was pretty bad. And, I don't know, cringy. And, like, didn't have good structural elements, and the lines didn't have good rhythm to them, and the words didn't flow together, and, like, there was no, like, lyrical or rhyme scheme to it. I'm just like, oh, yeah, this is very good. I didn't really know how to interact with their post, so I just didn't, but I I did hover over it for a good minute, just kind of looking at it, going like, oh no. This is terrible. Sometimes you feel bad about your writing, then you remember virtual novels exist. Yeah, like, you don't have to be a good author, a good writer, a good poet. There are plenty of untalented people who make stories about orphaned wizards who grow up to be orphaned cops who are the wizard chosen ones, and this has lyrics and I can't focus. Plenty of people who are TERFs make bad stories. They're poorly written, rife with cliche and problematic racial stereotyping, and make a killing off of that. Like, what's to stop you? Hopefully you write about something better, but like, you don't have to be good at writing to succeed. I'll say it. I never liked Harry Potter. I never did. I read through Goblet of Fire when I was a kid, and I stopped. And I have loved J.K. Rowling getting her comeuppance for just being a trash person. And like, people actually reading through the books as adults and going through with a more critical eye and some more nuance and going like, wait a minute, it seems like she's approaching some very serious themes with a lot of ignorance. And she's using a lot of stereotypes that are bordering on incredibly bigoted to just like blatantly bigoted. Like, holy shit, big vindication. You shouldn't need to feel good about your writing. Your writing doesn't need to be good. Just don't be a pretentious asshole about it. If it's bad, it's cool, whatever. I mean, a lot of writing's bad. A lot of famous writing is bad. Like, come on. Shakespeare just made a lot of words up, made a lot of fart jokes, and now people are like, oh, the Bard, truly a magnificent, inspirational, creative work. Oh, you don't have to be good at what you do for insignificant people who've never created a thing in their life to put you on a pedestal for centuries to come. Art is entirely subjective. Entirely subjective. And I think what I think and worry about more when it comes to art, when it comes to writing, when it comes to really any physical medium, or any medium really, is what is my art or process or whatever doing? Some of the background Hogwarts lore is pretty okay, but her overall world and character building is shitty. Yeah, I mean, there's some neat ideas in there. I won't disparage her and be like, it's all bad, but it's like, it's really not that good. It's not that creative. I think it speaks more to the absolute creative dearth in Western and American literature in the late 90s than it does to her creativity in particular. Yeah, oh god, I almost killed myself. Fuck. Felt my soul escape my body there. Almost made myself a fucking lava tomb. George Orwell wrote a book. All art is political. And, you know, Orwell's just one more white dude, so if you want to listen to what he has to say or not, it's up to you. But I wholeheartedly agree with that assessment. My first interaction with that philosophy, that all art is political, was in college. In a image and media what was it called? God bless you, Zoe Hammer. You were one of the best professors and teachers I've ever had, but your penchant for making course titles the most ridiculous, hard-to-remember things is killing me right now. Mass culture in... It had to do with mass culture, with propaganda, with imagery, mass media. It was all just a fucking Marxist word soup. Great class, and it got me asking the question, whenever I look at a piece of art, what is this piece doing politically? What is it trying to convey? What is it trying to accomplish? In what it's conveying and accomplishes, or doesn't, is it like just maintaining a status quo? Is it just encouraging consumerism and consumption? Is it trying to change the way people think or interact? Is it trying to share an experience for a specific reason? Be mindful about the way that media communicates with you, because it is communicating with you. And any good art, any smart art, any intentional art, any mindful art is engaging with you for a purpose. So I think that's what we should be concerning ourselves with when we talk about art. I feel like that's something we should teach at a young age, is when you read something, when you see something, you should have a question in your mind. What is the author, what is the artist trying to evoke from me? What are they trying to get out of this interaction with me? Because there's something. You don't make art just to do it. You can do it for fun, sure, but then you don't share it. If you share it okay, Cora is an artist, is a graphic designer, and she hated this. She absolutely hated this philosophy because she insisted that her art isn't political. And to me, that's impossible. In the same way that, like, you can't... Nothing is apolitical. Everything is political. It was a very, like, centrist, lib, I don't want to engage with this critical thinking or self-awareness kind of mentality, and it was so fucking off-putting for me. One of the things I fell in love with her for initially was her art. And then finding out that she's like, it's not political. I'm like, what? You did this because you like the way it looks superficially? Like, what? I thought that this was like... Yeah, I don't know. If you were an artist making art that you're like, this is politically inert, think harder about it, because there's no such thing as being politically inert. You're either feeding into or undermining social or political norms in everything that you do. There's no neutrality in capitalism. There's no neutrality in the real world. There is not, and if you can't see that, I don't know how to help you. I really don't. To be frank, to be fair, it is hard to find politics in cute bunny pictures. I don't know. You look at who paid them for those bunny pictures. You look at what context they made them in. Like, if you're fuck it, I'll say it. If you're pumping out cute animal pictures, if you have a Twitter profile, even if you're not taking these images, these photos, if all it is cute animal pictures, and the police kill an unarmed black man in your city, the rest of the country starts talking about it and talking about Black Lives Matter. If you are doing nothing, that is not political inertia. That is not doing nothing. Neutrality is complacency. Neutrality is enabling. Neutrality is typically a position held by people who are already enabled and emboldened and supported and privileged by the status quo. Nothing is apolitical. Good art is intentionally political, or at least intentionally aware of how it's political. And like, this is a very uncomfortable thing to talk about. I totally get that. And it's a very uncomfortable thing to engage with. Absolutely, I understand. But you cannot get me to change my mind on this. I think it might be a better service if I were to dig into the theory of why that is, how it works. You know, I'm potentially open to doing that, but ooh, Lord. Yeah. Just in talking about art, I get a flashback to a conversation where I'm like, oh yeah, all art's political. She's like, I don't think I agree with that. I'm like, what do you mean you don't think you agree with that? Like, hold on, I respected you as a creative. You mean to tell me you're not aware or like considerate of the means of production of your art, the means of reproduction, who's buying it, who's selling it, how it's changing or affecting their worldview? Because she does. She's a good artist, she's a good graphic designer, and she makes a good amount of content that is like very intentional. And it was weird as hell for someone who checked all those boxes to then be like, I don't think all art's political. Like, but what? Changing people's opinions? Come on. But Gulag's are for it. No. I don't know. I think a part of that probably was our relationship wasn't healthy. I'm trying to place this chronologically. I don't think it was particularly unhealthy at that time, yet. But like so many other unhealthy relationships, there was a tendency to get into unnecessary arguments about things that really weren't worth arguing about. So it very well could have just been that. May have well just been that, I should say. I don't know. Great artist, though. Great graphic designer, if you need one. She makes damn good stuff. She's up there. But a professional graphic designer being like, I don't think what I do is political, made me about lose my goddamn mind. Excuse you? Excuse you? Other day I learned they added satyrs as a 5e player race. Oh no. No, come on. Satyrs were the rapist goats? The rapist goat people from Greek mythology. Ah yes, let's add that to our tabletop role-playing game. That's in good spirits. And isn't it all a weird thing for a company that's had numerous sexual assault or sexual harassment complaints levied against them? Yeah, how could that go bad? Come on. I get goat people cute aesthetically. I'm not gonna dunk on it. But also like satyrs, we're like, there are several myths where groups of satyrs just straight up kidnap and rape whole groups of people in Greek mythology. Not even like singular people. This was like an identifying trait. And satyrs have been around since Monsters, since first edition, so you can think Come Lord Gygax. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. I mean, they already made Minotaurs playable. I mean, you can play as humans, and humans are actually problematic, so... Fair enough. Oh, no. Parkour. We're over an hour. I should probably put in a cut. It seems like a weird place to end off. I didn't go very political today. Man, that's weird. I'm talking about how a philosophy espoused by George Orwell, one of the preeminent socialist Americans of the 20th centuries, like thesis that all art is political. Now I'm just like, I didn't talk about anything political today. What the fuck? Come on, Alex. If I'm gonna be a war crime species, I want horns. I wanna play fun D&D where it's role-playing. I want role-playing. I want story-first, player-driven narratives. I want flirting. I want romance. I want intrigue. I want espionage. I want diplomacy. I want fun. I want drama. I don't want roll for initiative. I don't want, oh, guess you failed on this test that you would have succeeded on. I miss fun tabletop role playing, but I'm having a really hard time getting that scratched. Scratched it, you know. And I'm taking a at least till the end of the month break from tabletop role playing with the group that I had been running with, and I don't know if we're gonna resume. Yeah. You successfully banged the orc beer maiden. Roll for orgasm intensity. Well, you used a +1 butt plug, so take advantage on that roll. And you know, you did say, for purpose of fictional positioning, that you were engaging in orgasm denial. So go ahead and take a +2 to the result either way. Oh, looks like you still rolled a 3. You know, you put in the legwork, but it was still a really weak orgasm. Just like a really disapproving time. I hear the filter dying off. Oh no. I should cut. There's no way to. You lived? Hell yeah, dude. Huh? Okay. I am gonna put in a cut here. I think I am done for streaming for the day. I kind of want to stream Stellaris. But it's too easy or it's too hard. And nowhere in between. Either the AI gets a lot of bullshit bonuses and just nukes me with a fleet that it can't support or afford, but just got because of dumbass bonuses. Or the AI converts its entire planet into just absolute dog shit balanced for multiplayer that doesn't upscale well, and it makes bad tech decisions and bad strategic decisions, and then just like as an empire is really unchallenging. I'm too good at the fucking game to enjoy the AI anymore. But also I don't want to play with people because I want to roleplay and I want to get lost in my own fiction. And I can't find a happy medium. I cannot find a happy medium. It either swings way too hard one way or way too hard the other way. Space and content. Hand it over. There has to be like a porn comedy tabletop role-playing game, right? I'd imagine so. I really want to fucking play Monster Hearts. Monster Hearts has sex as a core mechanic. Monster Hearts is a tabletop role-playing game where you play as teenage monsters in high school. So it's very queer. It's about, like, identity and coming out and, you know, literally feeling like a monster because you are literally a monster, but that being an analogy or a metaphor or, you know, whatever the word is for the development or discovery of queer identity as a teen and, like, some interesting shit. But anyway, Minecraft. This is it for today. Until tomorrow. Toodaloo, take care, see you then. Bye. And watch, this won't work.